Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you could strum through a song called Getaway by Pearl Jam. And we're going to end up starting on an A minor chord for kind of our intro and our verse part. And the way you play A minor, first finger goes to the B string on the first fret, second finger on the D string, second fret, and third finger on the G string on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. Now on the A, especially through the tune, you may want to kind of play around with just a power chord for that too, where you play just the A string and the D string. And if you kind of take the flat of your right hand, actually you can kind of get a kind of a muted quality if you lay it down almost on top of the saddle. So that may be kind of a cool way to kind of work it too, as an A5 power chord. And then from the A minor on our verse, we're going to be going to a C major chord. And all you really have to do is kind of take the third finger from the G string second, and then go to the A string third fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now you can also use kind of a C5 power chord by doing the first finger on the A string on the third fret, third finger on the D string on the fifth fret, and if you strum just the A and the D string, then that sounds a C5 power chord. So you may want to kind of work around kind of that A5, C5 idea, or you could play around with the chords, the A minor C, A minor C, and then that third time we go from an A minor to a D major. When we play D major, first finger goes to the G on the second fret, second finger on the high E string on the second fret, and third finger on the B string on the third fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now you also might want to play around with a D5 power chord by playing the A and the G strings kind of together. Or you could even take the first finger and go to the A string 5th fret, third finger on the D string on the 7th fret, and kind of work those same two notes actually, as a D and an A note, to kind of get a D5 power chord there. And then from there, then with the D, we go back to our C chord, and then we go to a G major chord. When we play G major, first finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, second finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, and third finger on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now you can also do that as a power chord too, by doing first finger on the low E 3rd fret, third finger on the A string on the 5th fret, and if you strum just the E and the A string, you can kind of get a big powerful G5 out of that. And through the verse, actually, it's kind of weird. It's almost like a 3+5 idea through that with the chords. So you can almost do that with downs, actually, kind of an A minor for 3, C for 5, A minor for 3, C for 5, A minor for 3, D for 5, and then a C and then a G for 5. So you may want to kind of play around with that and doing that with just the downs. You could also do that with the power chords if you're kind of more interested in kind of following kind of that lead lick. Or a lot of times with a song like this too, I like adding something called a strum pattern to kind of support my voice. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took the A minor and just tried that a lot, you'd have down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now because of that kind of 3+5 idea, you may want to take that strum pattern and do a down, down on the A minor, and then go to the C for kind of the up, up, down, and kind of split the strum pattern between the chords. So you'd have an A minor, down, C on the up, down, A minor on the down, down, C on the up, down, A minor on the down, down, D on the up, down, C on the down, down, G on the up, down, A minor on the down, down, C on the up, down, A minor on the down, down, C on the up, down, A minor on the down, down, D on the up, down, C on the down, down, D on the up, down. And then from there, then we'll be going into our pre-chorus part. And our pre-chorus starts on an F major, and we'll talk about some easy ways to play this. But if you know the bar F major, you do your first finger across the entire 1st fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the A string 3rd fret, and the pinky on the D string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an F major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And a good substitute for that if you're starting out is something called F major 7, where you do the first finger on the B string 1st fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the D string on the 3rd fret, and if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds an F major 7. It sounds really groovy heavy. Or you could use an F5 power chord, and when you play F5, first finger goes to the low E string on the 1st fret, third finger on the A string on the 3rd fret, and if you strum just the E and the A string, that'll get you kind of an F5 power chord. Now through the pre-chorus, it's kind of weird. We start out with kind of an F, and then an A minor, and then a G. And they're all kind of split in one measure, so it's almost like you do the F with kind of a 1, 2, 3, A minor for 2, and then G for 2. So F, A minor, and a D, but now it's almost like a 5 plus 3 idea, where we go C with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, D. Or you could follow that with the power chords and have F, A, G, F, A, G, F, A, G, C, 5, D. Or you could work the strum pattern. And this could be a little tricky, but you could kind of do the F with kind of a down, down, A minor on the up, up, and then the G with the last down up to kind of split those chords. And then on the C, D, you could kind of work that as just a down, down, up, and then hit the D for your up, down, up. So we tried it that way. You'd have F, down, A minor on the up, G down, F down, down, A minor on the up, G down, F down, down, A minor on the up, G down, C down, down, up, D, up, down, F down, down, A minor on the up, G down, F down, down, A minor on the up, G down, F down, down, A minor on the up, G down, C down, down, D, up, down, up. So we want to kind of play around with that. And then from that pre-chorus, then we go back into our verses. Now, one other thing I think about adding to the song, though, is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, down, you could throw in a bass note for the chord. So on the A minor, you'd have the A string for your bass. On your C, you'd have the A string for the bass. So bass, down, up, down. On the D, you'd have the D for the bass. And on the G, we'd have the low E for the bass. On the F, we'd have the low E string for the bass if you're doing the bar F major. And on the F major 7, you'd have the D for the bass. So we tried adding basses to our next verse. We'd have A minor with an A bass, down, up, C, up, down, A minor with an A bass, down, C on the up, down, A minor with an A bass, down, D on the up, down, C with an A bass, down, G on the up, down, A minor with an A bass, down, C on the up, down, A minor with an A bass, down, C on the up, down, A minor with an A bass, down, D on the up, down, C with an A bass, down, G on the up, down, up. And then from there, then we'd be going back into our pre-chorus part. So we try adding basses to that. It could be kind of weird. You could do the F with kind of a bass, down, A minor on the up, G with a down up still through the first part. But you could kind of hit that C bass for the bass down up, D up, down up. So you'd have F with the bass, down, A minor on the up, G down, F with the bass, down, A minor on the up, G down, F with the bass, down, A minor on the up, G down, C with an A bass, down, up, D, up, down, F, A minor, G, F with the bass, down, A minor on the up, G, F, A minor up, G, C with an A bass, down, up, D, up, down, up. And then from there, then we hit our chorus part. Our chorus starts on A minor, and then we go to C, and then we go to our F, and then we go to an E minor chord when we play E minor. First finger goes to A on the 2nd fret, second finger on the D string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor. It sounds really sad. Now you may also want to kind of work that as the power chord by just doing the E and the A string kind of together on the low part. And on our chorus, we get to do our whole strum pattern or kind of 8 downs on each chord. So you'd have A minor, C, F, E minor, A minor, C, F, and then we do kind of an E minor, another E minor, and then we end up kind of with a big A minor and kind of a stop time thing. If you want to do just kind of a down and kind of kill it. Or you could try that with the bass down, up, down, up. And you have A minor with the bass, down, up, down, C with an A bass, down, up, down, F with the bass, down, up, down, E minor with the bass, down, up, down, A minor with an A bass, down, up, down, C with an A bass, down, up, down, F with the bass, down, up, down, E minor with the bass, down, up, down, E minor with the bass, down, up, E minor. And then from there, then we'll be going into our next verse. But what you may want to do is kind of take a little piece of all of these things that we're talking about and kind of find some ways to kind of mix the tune up and kind of make it your own too. Kind of see what you can say with all these licks. Or if you've got other strum patterns or other licks around those chords, feel free to kind of embellish this and kind of make the tune your own too. And then from there, then we're going into our pre-chorus part again. So we have kind of the F, A minor, G, F, then we'll be going back into our chorus part. It's kind of back to or if you know other licks around the chords, feel free to kind of make this less from there, then we go into kind of our solo part, which is kind of like our pre-chorus. So kind of back to the F, A minor, G, F, A minor, G, F, A minor, G, C, F, A minor, G, F, A minor, G, F, A minor, G, C. And then from there, then we'll be going into our last chorus. It's kind of this elongated, cool chorus. So we have A minor. On an A minor key. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Getaway by Pearl Jam. So good luck!